This is Gohan Beast, the most powerful form Goku's son has ever achieved, and it only appeared in 2022, 33 years after the debut of Dragon Ball Z. That's how long the character with the highest potential in the franchise spent being defeated, swallowed up, and forgotten. Today, we're going to walk through Gohan's entire journey, from his very first punch to the current manga. And by the end, you'll understand why he's the most debated character in Dragon Ball. Gohan was born in the year 757. The son of Goku and Chi-Chi, he was the franchise's first Saiyan-human hybrid. He was only 4 years old when Dragon Ball Z started. Chi-Chi raised him to be a scholar. He didn't want to fight anyone, but the power was there, hidden away. When Raditz appeared, he kidnapped Gohan and locked him inside his space pod to use him as a hostage against Goku. That's when Raditz's scouter detected something impossible. The boy registered a power level of 710. Goku himself was only at 416. Raditz thought the device was broken. Watching his father get tortured, Gohan snapped. He smashed through the pod, rushed at his uncle, and headbutted him hard enough to leave the Saiyan injured and screaming in pain. Seconds later, Gohan's power dropped back to nearly zero. He had absolutely no control over it. That single strike is what gave Goku the opening to hold Raditz in place so Piccolo could fire the special beam cannon, killing both of them at once. That's when Piccolo decided to train him. For 6 months, he left the boy alone in the wilderness to fend for himself against dinosaurs. On one of those nights, Gohan looked at the full moon and transformed into a great ape. Piccolo destroyed the moon to stop him, then cut off his tail. Afterward, he gave him a uniform just like his own, with the demon kanji on the back. What started as a kidnapping turned into the most important bond of Gohan's life. A year later, Vegeta and Nappa arrived. Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu, and Piccolo died in that battle. And Piccolo died throwing himself in front of Nappa's attack to save Gohan. Remember this scene. It's going to repeat itself multiple times in his life. After the Saiyan saga, Gohan, Krillin, and Bulma went to planet Namek in search of the Dragon Balls to resurrect their fallen companions. That's where the first major turning point happened. Grand Elder Guru placed his hand on Gohan's head and unlocked a portion of his latent potential. His power multiplied dozens of times over all at once, surpassing 10,000. And most importantly, every battle he faced, against Recoome, against Frieza, made him even stronger. Rage and danger acted as fuel. A child facing down the most feared tyrant in the universe. And growing right in the middle of the fight. But none of that compares to what would happen 3 years later. In the Android saga, Gohan was 9 years old and had already been training with Goku and Piccolo for 3 years. When Cell appeared, Goku took his son into the Hyperbolic time chamber, where a single day equals a year. Inside, Gohan transformed into a Super Saiyan for the very first time with his father's help. He became the youngest Saiyan to ever achieve it, a record that would only be broken years later by Goten at age 7. And inside that chamber, Goku made the strangest decision of the series. He realized he couldn't defeat Cell. So he bet everything on a boy who hadn't even turned 11 yet. At the Cell games, Gohan didn't want to fight. Piccolo said out loud what everyone else was thinking. The boy was the strongest fighter on Earth, but he didn't have a warrior's spirit. Cell decided to change that. He created 7 Cell Juniors and ordered them to torture Gohan's friends right in front of him. It didn't work. What worked was something else. Android 16 had formed a bond with Gohan because both shared the same pacifist nature. Reduced to just a severed head, he asked Mr. Satan to carry him over to the boy. He told him there was absolutely nothing wrong with unleashing his anger to protect the ones he loved. Cell stepped on 16's head and crushed it right in front of Gohan. And that was it. Gohan ascended to Super Saiyan 2, marking the very first time this form appeared in Dragon Ball. Cell got excited, thinking the fight would finally get interesting. Gohan was stone cold. He destroyed the 7 Cell Juniors in seconds, took back the sensu beans Cell had stolen, and handed them out to the injured warriors. Cell powered up to his absolute maximum. He couldn't land a single hit. Gohan answered with a punch to the stomach so devastating it made Cell vomit up Android 18 and revert to his semi-perfect form. Backed into a corner, Cell inflated his own body to self-destruct and take the Earth down with him. That's when Goku sacrificed himself. He used instant transmission to warp Cell to King Kai's planet and died in the explosion, along with King Kai, Bubbles, and Gregory. Except Cell survived. He regenerated into his perfect form, even stronger than before, learned instant transmission during the process, returned to Earth, and killed future Trunks with a single energy blast. And that's how, with a broken arm and his father's spirit by his side, Gohan fired a one-handed father-son Kamehameha and finished Cell once and for all. This was Gohan's peak. A kid who wasn't even 11 years old pulled off what not even Goku could do. 7 years pass. Gohan is 16 years old and no longer trains. He attends Orange Star High School in Satan City, a city named after the guy who took all the credit for defeating Cell. To help people without revealing his identity, he created the Great Saiyaman. The strongest warrior on Earth became a student in a costume. When Majin Buu appeared, Gohan went to the Elder Kai, who unlocked his entire potential all at once without requiring any transformation. This form is known as Ultimate Gohan, and it was stronger than any Super Saiyan level he had reached before. And it worked. Gohan dominated Super Buu with ease. Buu then absorbed Gotenks and Piccolo to gain both power and intelligence. After that, Gohan was brutally beaten and humiliated. Once Buu had fought Goku and Gohan together for a while, Gotenks' fusion wore off, and Buu lost most of his power. That is, until Buu used a severed piece of himself he had left behind to absorb Gohan as well, becoming his most powerful form. The strongest character of the saga was swallowed up and vanished from the story at its most critical moment. And that wasn't even rock bottom yet. In Dragon Ball Super, Gohan is 21 years old during the Beerus saga and 23 during the Tournament of Power. The beginning of Super is the absolute lowest point of his life. Gohan admits he completely stopped training in martial arts. When Frieza is resurrected and invades Earth, Gohan flatly acknowledges that he can beat the soldiers, but not Frieza himself. And that is exactly what happens. A single attack from Frieza takes Gohan down, leaving him without a pulse. Once again, Piccolo throws himself in front of an attack to save his life. That rock-bottom moment is what drives Gohan to ask Piccolo to train him once more. And it paid off. In the Tournament of Power, Gohan was the warrior with the fourth most eliminations in the entire tournament, trailing only Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza. Together with Piccolo, he eliminated the Namekians Sawanel and Purina from Universe 6 using a combined Kamehameha and Special Beam Cannon. Along with Android 17, he brought down Agna Lhasa from Universe 3, and he went out in the most Gohan way possible. To stop Dyspo, who was too fast to keep up with, he grabbed his opponent and told Frieza to blast them both at the same time, sacrificing his own spot. During the tournament, he said a line that went unnoticed back then. He said he didn't want to evolve as a Saiyan, he wanted to evolve as his own person. 4 years later, we found out what that meant. The Red Ribbon Army built Cell Max, a colossal and unstable version of the original Cell. And the two responsible for facing him weren't Goku and Vegeta, they were Gohan and Piccolo. Cell Max brutally beat Piccolo down and left him seemingly dead on the ground. The exact same trigger. Another time, Piccolo falls right in front of him, except this time, it wasn't uncontrolled rage, it was calm. Gohan Beast emerged. Light gray hair, red eyes with black pupils, a single strand of hair falling over his face. The name was given by Piccolo himself, and Akira Toriyama explained that it comes from the idea that the wild beast inside Gohan had finally woken up. It's not a divine form, it's not a Saiyan transformation, it's something exclusive to Gohan, born from the latent potential he'd always had. And he finished Cell Max with a special beam cannon, the exact same move that killed Raditz in the very first battle of Dragon Ball Z. Piccolo's signature move. And the manga went even further. In chapter 102, Goku took Gohan to Beerus's planet to test out Beast. Goku didn't hold back. He went straight into perfected Ultra Instinct with no warm-up. The collision between the two nearly knocked everyone off their feet and destroyed part of the planet. In the following chapter, Gohan pushed his limits even further and managed to land a clean hit that sent Goku flying. The training session ended with Goku satisfied and deeply impressed by his son's level. There is no official statement declaring that Beast and Ultra Instinct are on the exact same level. But for the first time in decades, Gohan stands in a fight against Goku where he isn't just a side character. And that's where his story comes full circle. Gohan is the only character in Dragon Ball who never evolved out of ambition. He has no bloodlust, no desire to test his limits, and he doesn't look for a rival. Every single leap in power he made came from pain. From his rage against Raditz while watching his father get beaten, from losing Piccolo against Nappa, from Android 16 being crushed at the Cell games, from Piccolo falling yet again to Cell Max. The potential was always there. The question was never whether he can do it, it's whether he wants to. What about you? Do you think Gohan will eventually surpass Goku for good? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.